Hey everybody, and welcome to today's video. Now before we get started, don't forget, if you're interested in a $25 reading from myself, I'm a medium, I'm an intuitive, and I will channel answers. It's 3 questions for $25 as long as the questions are all on the same subject. The details on the website, themanifestingmedium.com. There's a short form to fill out to let me know what you're looking for, and then we'll go from there. So, today's video comes from a little discussion that we had on the Facebook group. Now, the name of the Facebook group is called for Light Workers. It's a public group, so if you're watching this and you're not in the group, go ahead and head over to Facebook, join. It's for Light Workers. So, one of the things that sort of came up in the discussion was trying to know what our purpose is here. Why are we here? What's the reason? What's the purpose that I was sent here? And one of the things that I brought up was, we all will look for answers from Spirit in the now. Okay, we are presented with a decision or a choice, and we immediately start. Okay, let's ask Spirit what the answers are. However, many times I discover for myself that I was already given the answer previous to actually having the situation present. Now, there's a couple things to that. First of all, one of the things that I've noticed, and I would like to know if other people have had the same experience, is childhood dreams and premonitions. Now, for me, since about the age of 5, I constantly had this dream, premonition, vision, whatever you want to call it, where as an adult, I was sort of walking down this small little hill off by myself, and I can clearly see what the hill looks like, what the scenery looks like, and everything like that. Well, as life would have it, the home I moved into about 5 years ago is the exact location of that dream, of that vision I've been having since I was 5 years old. So, in terms of, if the question had been where am I meant to be, right, I would have already had the answer, since I was 5 years old. Now, there's a lot of other examples I could come up with, but I'm sure you have the same thing. So there's a couple things here. First of all, when you're looking for answers, when you're searching, not just for, why you're here, but even for answers for pertinent questions to what you're dealing with now in your own life, go all the way back to childhood. Check in with the things that were kind of just fluffed off as fantasies and childhood imagination and everything. Because if you think about it, if you think about how a child's mind works, how their spirit works, they're constantly inventing these games and scenarios and friends and all of these things that are just considered their imagination. But many times, what was actually happening, that was just Spirit bringing them a message, and they were maybe even channeling a little bit at that point because, at a young age you haven't been conditioned, right? Your vibration is a completely different space. So I have found that I can go back sometimes to age 5, 8, 10, 12, whatever it would be, and find something that, I remember I had this phase, I remember I had this period of time where I was really thinking about this or learning about this. And many times I can pull the answers to what I'm thinking, the answers that I need now, I can pull from way back then. And that technique you can use, and you don't necessarily have to go all the way back to childhood. Sometimes maybe you don't have a great memory of what your childhood was. But the overriding point is that while it's perfectly fine and perfectly obviously what most of us do when we're presented with a situation is I have this situation, let me check in and see what Spirit says now. Don't forget to check in with what you might already have been presented with. Don't forget to go back and think about the things, whether it been in the last week, the last couple weeks, month, year, messages that you've been getting that you weren't quite sure, why am I getting this message? Why am I hearing this? Many, many times you're getting this stuff, you're getting the messages before the situation presents itself. Now, I know that can sound a little bit confusing because now you have to go back a little bit and kind of, remember things and kind of look at, what was I thinking then or what was I thinking now. One thing that you can do in terms of trying to find out if you got a previous message is look at the planetary alignments when the situation presents and try to maybe look back whether it be a week, a month, a year, however long. But maybe look back on the planetary alignments that were similar to what they are now in the past, and see if there's any correlation between what you experienced then, or maybe a lesson or a message that you got then, versus how it can pertain to what you're going through now. So that's one way you can kind of try to figure out where to look. But overall, you're going to kind of know if Spirit did give you a message in the past, that's something that's going to pertain to the now. As soon as you sit to think about it, if you're looking in the past, you have to be willing to look in the past. And many times, that might be why Spirit's not giving you an answer. I know that that has happened to me many a times, when I will say, why am I not getting anything now? And they would just look at me and say, because we already told you. Okay? Go figure it out. Go look back in your past. You already learned this lesson. You already got this message. You already know what to do. You've just forgotten it. And sometimes, they'll guide you or give you the answer again. You'll be like, hey, dummy, hit you upside of the head and let you know what it is. But I have found it's a lot more instructive, and you learn a lot more when you go back your own self and try to remember what it was that you learned, and then you can apply it to now, and you won't ever forget it again. I can guarantee you that. That is something that is a sure thing. If you are presented with a situation now and you get the message now, most likely that means that's the first time you're learning that lesson or getting that message. But many times the stuff that you've been told in the past, when you go back and realize that that was a message 2 years ago and it applies now, many times you might realize that that message you got 2 years ago, you should have been applying to multiple things along the way in the last 2 years, but you didn't, and it's just now finally Spirit has got your attention enough to where you've looked back far enough and paid attention, and now you can apply that to all those things that happen, and you won't forget it. When that situation presents again, you're going to know exactly what to do. You won't have to do any work to find out where to look for it. So, alright, that was today's video. Thank you everybody for watching, everybody that has joined the Facebook group Lightwork for Lightworkers. I really appreciate everybody that's joined and everybody's posting and interacting. We're going to have something with the group coming up a little bit special on Friday, so don't miss that. And don't forget, website is themanifestingmedium.com. $25 readings, guys. I sit and do them at night. I love to do it. I love to see people's reactions when I nail it. Let's just put it that way. I wouldn't do it if I wasn't doing it right. I wouldn't want to do it. But I enjoy doing it because I do it and I give them the answers and they go, how? And I say, I don't know how. It just is what it is. It's the gift, so that's what I do. So, all right, that's enough of that. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you again tomorrow.